Hi, folks. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Advisory. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to have another moment of looking at our goals, resetting them, and seeing how they've worked for us. But before we do that, I wanted to take a moment to look at some of your goals and some of the responses that you gave on the form a couple of weeks ago. So without further ado, this is the weekly goal review.
Weekly goal review.
There were three main questions I asked on that form a couple of weeks ago. The first was, what was the actual weekly goal that you set? And I had some really, really good answers. I've chosen just a few from the form that I really enjoyed and thought could be useful to you to see what your classmates are doing. Get 2 extra hours of sleep. Read 50 pages. Be able to do 20 push-ups in a row. Clean my car windshield. Cook a meal for my family. Finish my government homework by Thursday. Bench 2 plates. Ordenar mi closet. Clean my closet. Work out 2 to 4 times. Pay attention in a class I don't find interesting. That's a good goal. Finish homework by Friday so I have Saturday and Sunday off. Love that. Reduce screen time by 4 hours. Pass Miss Driscoll and Miss Gary's class by Friday. These were all great examples. I got hundreds and hundreds more of great goals from you guys. Let me tell you why I like these in particular. These I really like because they have an actual number to them, right? 2 hours of sleep. 20 push-ups in a row. Work out 2 to 4 times. I like that one especially because it gives you a window. Maybe I work out 2, maybe I work out 4, but somewhere in between those two things, right? Having a set number to your goal can help you know whether or not you're close to accomplishing it. These I really like because it set an actual time to have the goal done by. Instead of waiting until the next Wednesday, these people said that I need to do this by Thursday and Friday so that I can enjoy myself afterwards. And this one right here even had a purpose for why this person wanted to finish this goal. That might be good for setting your next goal, is having a purpose of why it would benefit you to have this thing done. And I like these last ones because they're so simple. These goals don't have to be these huge undertakings where you're getting stressed out because you're not getting close or because it's too much to do. A very simple goal sometimes is the best to make yourself feel accomplished and help you move towards making more complex goals. Cleaning your closet, cleaning your car windshield, cooking a meal, that can be as simple as it needs to be. This one I like the honesty because, it's sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do or don't find interesting, and that could be a good goal to set too. I also asked you, do you think that setting goals is helpful to you? And I got a lot of different answers on this one. Let's start with the ones that said that it did help them out. This person said it helps them to get it done. It's a weekly planner for them to feel accomplished. It helps them keep track of what needs to get done. It holds them accountable mentally. The goal in your mind tells you to keep going and do your best. So sometimes just having that in your mind can be a good motivator. Sí, porque si me puedo poner metas más grandes y cumplirlas, which means yes, because that way I can set bigger goals and fulfill them, which I agree. Once you do it, it gives you a sense of achievement, so you do it more often. They give me a sense of urgency, which just basically means it helps you do things a little bit quicker. They can become habits if you do them long enough to where you don't even have to think about setting goals. It just becomes part of what you do. I become more attentive and my memory improves. They keep me stable and in line. It helps me put pressure on myself to do what's best for me. Pressure can be a good or a bad thing. It all depends on how you treat yourself, which we're going to talk about here more in just one moment. I also wanted to mention some of the reasons that you guys did not find setting goals helpful. And a lot of people had this to say, that even if you set it, it's easy to forget that actual goal, which I understand completely, being somebody who forgets things all the time. Chances are I'm going to do it anyways. You may not be wrong, but sometimes it's good to list things as a goal so that you don't leave it up to chance. I take life one day at a time. Making a goal just makes me worry even more about the near future, which I definitely understand. Sometimes just living in the moment is enough for us. This person brings up a good balance between living in the moment and being too worried about the future. Your goals shouldn't make you worry about it, should help guide you towards the future. Sometimes they can stress me out. I heard that. Lots of people had that to say. Even if I write them down, I forget. It has to be something I really, really want. We're going to talk more about that later, but that's a great point. Sometimes things get in the way of achieving it, and then I feel bad about myself when I don't accomplish it. Life happens, right? Sometimes things get in the way and our priorities have to shift based on what our experiences are or what happens to us, and we're going to leave room for that as well. And I'm sorry that you felt bad about yourself. I understand that too. Sometimes when I set a goal for myself and it's maybe too extreme or too much for me to handle and I don't get it done, I can feel bad about myself too. I get that. This person clarifies that last point, which is like making promises that you can't keep. Even if you put your mind to it, there's no guarantee it'll get done because there's always something that can happen that can derail your course. There were a lot of answers along these lines, and I want you to know that it's okay. Goal setting doesn't have to be a rigid thing that makes you feel bad about yourself. We're going to talk about some ways that we can set our goals in a way that gives us a sense of accomplishment. That's the main purpose. Is setting goals easy or difficult? This person said it's kind of fun. And I would agree. Sometimes it's kind of fun to plan out your week and understand and get them done. Sometimes you can think about your goals as, I don't know, a video game or a board game, something that, or even a sports game, an athletic endeavor, right? You have a goal that you want to set and it's fun to accomplish that goal. If you think about the same way with your schoolwork, maybe it can make it more bearable. Difficult because I get lazy. It depends on if the goal itself is easy or difficult. That's a good point. Difficult because I write it in my journal and can't see it throughout the week. Yeah, you may have missed this. And the journal is really a moment where you can write it out, but you definitely want to either take a picture of it or write it down somewhere else so you can keep it with you throughout the week. This person has experience doing goals. They say it's really easy. They've been doing it for a while and has been helping me actually keep up and remember all the things I need to get done. Also, the feeling of checking it off that I have done something is a really good feeling. Agreed. It's easier said than done, but I try, and I think that's what matters most. Slow progress is better than no progress. I put that in bold because I liked it so much. Actually executing my goals is hard because I get distracted by other things I want to accomplish. We talked about that earlier with how life has a way of reshuffling our priorities. It's easy making them, but being consistent is hard. You always lose track of what you're doing and end up procrastinating or just forgetting. This person says it's in the middle, one way or the other, because it needs to be something I know I can actually accomplish. Couldn't agree more. And finally, fue un poco fácil porque pues son metas que debes hacer normalmente estando en la escuela, which means it was a bit easy because they have goals that normally you have to do in school anyway. Excellent point. Those are just some of your answers. I know that there's a lot of opinions about this, but it pretty much boils down to the fact that goal setting can work for you. You just have to make it work for you. With that in mind, I've come up with about 4 takeaways after looking at all of your answers. Number 1, goals can take many forms. Just because we made that whole chart in class and had all the action steps, if that didn't work for you, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to keep doing that. We should do it in a format that makes sense to us and then move forward. Maybe you like your goals more in the form of a to-do list like me. Maybe you like to set calendar reminders in your phone. Maybe you have some other way of writing it down. Whatever your goals are, just know that it doesn't have to be exactly like we've been doing it. The second takeaway is use what you're either already doing or really want to do. When I was reading your responses, it seemed like a lot of people thought that setting a goal was an extra thing to pile on your already giant mountain of tasks and assignments. But that's not the intent at all. You can use the classes you're already in, the activities you're already in, the things that you're already doing to use to set your goals. That way you don't have to come up with anything extra. If it's not going to be something that you already are doing, maybe it might be easier if you picked something that you really, really are into and want to accomplish. Either way, your goal shouldn't feel like a chore. It should feel like something that motivates you to getting the things that you need to get done. My third takeaway is a reminder to be kind to yourself in this process. Like that comment we heard earlier, it can be really easy to set a goal, not get as far or not get to it at all or forget it, and then be down on yourself. That's not the purpose either. If your goal turns out to not get accomplished, then in that moment, maybe it's time to stop and say, okay, why didn't that goal get accomplished? It's probably not because you're not smart or that you're lazy or anything like that. It's probably because life is difficult and things have to get reshuffled. And so be kind to yourself whenever you're evaluating your goals. And the next time you make a goal like this, make it more achievable, start smaller, which is actually my next point. And that is to start small. Remember that quote from before? One of you came up with it. Slow progress is better than no progress, which is absolutely true. If you're having a trouble setting and keeping your goals, start small, okay? Wash your windshield, clean your closet, go do 20 push-ups, whatever it is that you want to do, start small, and your sense of achievement from having accomplished that will propel you to do bigger and better things. What goal setting is really about is building your confidence and ability to take on things as they come to you. And it's with that I want to show you this final quote that actually comes from one of you as well. And it was so beautiful in Spanish and English that I had to end my video with it. And this is it. Aunque lo que más nos frena no son los obstáculos en sí mismos, sino nuestra capacidad para afrontarlos, which in English translates to, although what stops us the most are not the obstacles themselves, but our ability to face them. Whichever one of you wrote that should become a poet. However you make and set and keep your goals, just know that the ultimate goal of setting goals is to build your ability to face obstacles. Go to the next slide for a few suggestions on different ways you can set your weekly goals. Have a great rest of your week. Be good to yourselves and others, and I'll see you real soon.